Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Hope you're all having an amazing New Year's Day. They say this is going to be the year, that's going to be, the best year and all that. Well, I hope so. I hope so for me. I am grateful for this and I'm taking it moment by moment. I'm grateful that last night I didn't spend the night, New Year's Eve, in a cell with seven other uh, skanky females doing drugs all night, all morning long. And then having to lay there in my bunk and breathe it all in. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, Happy New Year. And so today I want to talk about, what this channel is about. It's about inspiration, perseverance through adversities, and using my experiences, as an inmate and in incarceration, and everything that I went through. So today's going to be story time, and what it's going to be is actually it's about inmates, you know, like myself, and ridiculousness and a situation that just happened to me about approximately a week and a half ago without me even intending for this to happen. So, and when I look back, I'm thinking that's ridiculous, and that's one of those times when I need a great gazoo in my life. Yeah, great gazoo. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Anyway, so um, this is what's going on. I'm right now currently remodeling this place, but in bits and pieces, and it's taking a lot more time than I had wanted it to take, because it is just that it's going on in bits and pieces. So there's a lot of glitches, and I think that anybody who's ever been involved in some, like just like house remodeling or remodeling your place, whether it's an apartment, a condo, a house, whatever it is, and all the things that happen. And this is what happened to me. So I have like so many, I just have a bunch of business cards and little pieces of paper with phone numbers of um, handymen and I guess contractors. And I've had some really, really bad experience lately. And then I had a couple of ridiculous ones. So one of them is that about a week and a half ago, I was going through my little pieces of paper with the phone numbers on them, and I called this one man, and I will not use his name, and so I'm not going to mention names to protect the guilty. So we'll call him Steve. So I called this man, and I said, well, I was wondering if you can come give an estimate. This is where I live, and these are a couple of the things that I'm looking to do. So, I mean, there's a lot to do, but if you want to come and look at it and tell me, what's involved and what's going on, and I'm naive to this, to remodeling. I've had some experiences in the past, but still, I guess I don't know everything, and so it's caused me a lot of glitches and some problems and some bullshit. So on the phone, the guy sounded kind of, I don't know what, but I thought, is this how they are? I mean, anyways, whatever. So we set an appointment, and on the day of, I was doing something, so I forgot the very moment that he was supposed to show up. So, anyways, he showed up at the gate, and he called and he said, I'm here. So I opened the door and I went to the gate to unlock it and let him in. Um, and just by first appearance, I thought, oh my God, what the hell? I mean, this guy, appearances don't mean anything, but whatever. I don't know, like he um he looked really out of shape, and I don't know if he could do this because he told me on the phone that he does everything by himself, um, usually. So, okay, and then I was like, all right, I hope this guy's okay. So I let him in, and he came in, and he was following way too closely, which really irritated me. And I was like thinking, what a creep, just so at this point, somebody watching this is going to think, well, why did you let him in then? It's your fault. Well, I wasn't sure, are all handymen or contractors or remodeling people, whatever, you can't always judge a book by its cover. So I let him in, and I showed him one room that I want it to remain a room, but I also want to make it like a closet, but something that flows and has symmetry and is nice and uniform and would still hold a bed and look beautiful on its own. It's kind of a small room, but I have ideas, and I don't want clutter. I hate clutter. Um, I'm kind of really very OCD. So it already has shelves that I put in there before, but they're these shelves that you put together and you just put them in there. They're not bolted to the wall or anything like that. And I wanted something nicer. So he was looking at it, and he said, oh yeah, I can do this. We can build shelves from scratch, or we can use the ones you already have, which are prefab. And they're like really low cost shelves that I bought from, like maybe like from 5 years ago. And I was like, well, look, they're kind of peeling, so I don't think we can utilize them. He said, no, 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 it's good to utilize them. I'll paint them, and the paint will seal them. And I was like, I don't know a lot about this, but I know that paint is not going to seal something that's like maybe plywood and it's already peeling, because part of it is like it's plywood paper or whatever it is, and it's not. No, 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 no. He kept saying, no, 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 I can do this, and the paint is going to seal it, and I know it's going to seal it, and all of those other things. And then when we're done, whatever else is left, we'll build around it, and we can get some more, wood or plywood or whatever. And I wasn't sure about it, and I was like, well, why don't we go and I'll buy some shelves, and see what we come up with. I would like to start this next week if possible. So, because there's a lot more to do. There's a lot to do around here. I mean, you know, there's a lot. So he was like, okay, so he set up an appointment, and then I was showing him um, some furniture and a bed. I have a beautiful upholstered bed. I think it's a queen or a king, I'm not sure, but I'm selling it because it's an extra bed, and so I want to get rid of it. And I told him, he was like, no, I really like this bed. This is a great bed. And I told him, yeah, it's a beautiful bed. Uh, I already have a cow queen. I think mine is a queen. So this one I don't really need right now, and I want to sell it. We were talking about it. He was like, yeah, no, I would be interested. And I was like thinking, great, if I can sell this bed, it would really help, you know, to free up space and, other things that I need to do. So I want to see some progress, and maybe this is progress. So he said, okay, um, I don't remember exactly, but something like I would call him or he would call me for a time to come by and uh, get the wall measurements, because he didn't bring a tape measure. Okay, so um, I kind of like, I wasn't sure about him, so I kind of put it out of my mind. And then the next week, when there was somebody else here painting another part of this place, obviously not here, there's so much work to be done here. So I got a voicemail from him that he wants the bed and he wants to come get it, and all this and all that. So I was like thinking, great, I'm going to get rid of this bed. So I called him back immediately. Actually, the voicemail was from like a couple days ago, but I had just gotten it that day. So I called him back, and I was like, yeah, if you want to, the bed is still available, and it's this much, the price for it. And he was like, well, I thought it was like $50 less. And I said, no, I told you in the beginning how much it is. And he said, okay, well, it's a great bed, I want it, so I'm gonna come pay for it, and I'm gonna take it like next week on such and such date. And I was like, okay, fine, let me look at my calendar. I looked at my book and I was like, okay, why don't you come at this time? And he's like, yeah, okay, so great. And this is a bed that somebody else that day wanted to buy, and I said, no, I'm sorry, because somebody's already buying it now. So the day that he's supposed to come to get the bed, I'm waiting for him, and he calls me from outside the gate. He says, I'm here, but I can't take the bed because, oh, it's not going to fit like I thought it would. And I'm like, you told me you wanted to buy the bed, and somebody else wanted it, and I said, no. He's all, no, 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 it's okay. I have somebody with me who wants to come look at it, and I told him all about it, so he's really interested. This is a friend of mine. And I'm like, so you're outside right now? He said, yeah. Okay, so I went outside, and I had just come back from the gym like earlier that day. So I go outside, and he's standing there with this guy in workout clothing. Like I was in workout clothing. So I went and I opened the gate. And this is what he tells me. The handyman contractor guy, this is what he tells me. He tells me, this is so and so, and this is my spin instructor. And I'm thinking to myself, spin instructor? What part of him spins? I didn't even think he went to the gym. I was thinking all of this to myself. I'm not being superficial. It's just like something logical that's going in my mind. Like I almost fell out when he said, this is my spin instructor. This guy, like if I took this pillow and let me see, if I try to put it, it's like he has this pillow like for his gut. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he's just starting out. I know that getting in shape is hard. I mean, ask me. So I'm all, okay, well, come in. So he brings his spin instructor in, and they go and they look at the bed, and the guy's like, yeah, this is a great bed, and everything. So he wants it. I'm thinking, okay, so it's not a loss, I'm still selling the bed. So, okay, And then I start talking to the spin instructor. We have like a lot in common and everything. And so we're talking and we're laughing over some stuff that I think we're talking about vintage things, because I told him I have some vintage nightgowns from the 60s, but I also have somehow, when I lived in West LA, when I was first released from prison in 2009, I had an apartment in West Los Angeles, like borderline Brentwood, and I used to live in Brentwood. Anyways, there are some vintage shops there and thrift shops, and I had this period of time when I would go to thrift shops to try to find something rare. Once in a while you do, but of course a consignment shop is always best. Thrift shops, actually, you might get lucky. At least the ones down there, and I've been lucky a few times. So I actually found one of Marilyn Monroe's slips, and I bought it like right off the bat. So anyway, so I was showing him the slip and these vintage nightgowns, and saying that someday I want to buy some forms and put these on forms and have like a kind of like have one room that I turn into a small museum with a few things, from 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm not interested in the 90s at all. I think it was such a tacky decade. So he's like, yeah, that's awesome. So like we're talking, and then so the handyman guy's like, so what about the shelves? I'm like, yeah, I want to do these shelves. As I want to get started as soon as possible, but I'm just not sure if using the ones that I already have, because they're so so cheap if they're gonna work, you know, by painting over them. So why don't we go to IKEA, you know, tomorrow, or I don't know what day he planned. I said, yeah, let's go to IKEA, because it's not like I'm trying to get solid wood shelves right now. I just want to remodel this place just so it looks better. And you know, I'm doing windows, and I'm looking for honeycomb shades and all those other things, you know. So and I was like, yeah, let's, you know, come pick me up and let's go to IKEA. And so he came back another day, and right before he came back though, I called him on the phone. I was like, well, remember to bring your truck so there's room for us to put the shelves in that I'm going to buy. And he called me right back. He said, I got your message. Oh, I don't need a truck. I'm just going to bring, I think he has this little Honda Accord. He was telling me how he has like several cars, a Corvette, you know, a big truck, a small truck, a Honda, and like a couple, a Jaguar, and it is Jaguar, not Jaguar. So he was telling me, I was like, well, why don't you bring your larger truck, so, you know, logically, if I buy any shelves, they'll fit in there. And he said, oh, no, the Honda is fine, it has room in the back. And I was like, okay, you know. So he shows up with this small Honda, and we go to IKEA, and I like IKEA. It's a fun place to shop if you're not looking to invest in, you know, hardwood or like the highest quality, because IKEA is not the highest quality, but it's the most convenient. And you know, as anybody knows who's gone there, you know, it's fun because they turn all these small spaces into like these really nice spaces with you know, all of the things that they have, so it looks so nice. And you know, I went there, and that was the first time I'd been there since like I think 2012 actually. So we went there, and I was looking for shelves and looking. We finally find some shelves, and I'm like, okay, this is great, this works, you know, because I have ideas of what I'm gonna turn these shelves into so that they look like built-ins, you know, do this hack. And so then he does some measurements. He's all, yeah, these aren't gonna fit. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, no shit, they're not gonna fit. That's why I asked him at the beginning to bring his truck. And so I'm thinking, you know, this is, all right, well, you know what? I should have insisted, or maybe some part of this is my fault. And just to go on a tangent, the whole time we're there, you know, there's this hot guy who ran into me like 3 times, not literally, but you know, like, you know, he ends up on one floor, and then another floor, and then in another place, and really cute. But every time he's there, this guy is like, okay, let's go to the next section. And I'm thinking, well, you know, all right, let's go to the next section. So much for that. Anyways, so we're downstairs, and he's all, yeah, you know, we'll have to come back tomorrow. And I'm thinking, this has been not a completely wasted trip, but why wouldn't you bring your truck in the first place? But I didn't say anything to him, you know. So, you know, we went upstairs, and I was really hungry since I had gotten back from the gym earlier that day. I hadn't had anything to eat. I'd just been drinking water. So we went upstairs. They actually have a nice, it's a cafeteria, but it's kind of nice. Reminds me of the airport when I was a kid, you know. So so we had dinner, and then we left, and then I had to go to Bloomingdale's for something, and there's a Bloomingdale's out there, of course, in Burbank. So I went there, we went there, and then I came home. We decided, okay, you come pick me up tomorrow at such and such time, and you know, so he shows up the next day. with another truck, and then he starts complaining about, well, we have to get there before traffic hits, which is a legitimate complaint. But we get there, and this truck is so old and so tiny, it's a stick shift. I didn't even know those still existed. Well, it's old, so yeah, I mean, if you had it and you have it, then they still exist. Anyways, um, so we go there, and this truck is so tiny, and he has a bigger truck. I don't know why he didn't. What's wrong with this guy? He says he's been doing this for like about 7 years. You should know these things, okay? So we go there, and not all of the shelves that I bought fit, and it's not like I bought so many, that it was unreasonable. I bought four in the long boxes. I wanted to buy 5, but a 5th one wouldn't fit. So, and then, the whole time he's talking to me about how every day he goes to the gym, and yeah, he's like really big on spin class, and when they're at like a 3 or 4, I don't know, I've never been spinning. I do a whole different workout. So I've never been spinning. I don't really like cardio. So he's all, no, but when everybody else is at a 3 or 4 or even a 5, I go on a 10, and I've been at this for a long time. I like to keep my waistline, and the whole time I'm thinking, what waistline? It looks like a beach ball. And so he's telling me all these personal things about himself, and I should add, which this is such a big part of it, is that the very first time he came here to give me an estimate, he told me everything about his past, or whatever he wanted to say that. How, he's been incarcerated, he's been in jail, he's been in prison, he's a former drug addict, and I mean, I've had an addiction. I know about addictions and compulsions, and I mean, I was an inmate. I didn't tell him about myself. I didn't feel the need to divulge anything about myself to somebody who's going to come do some shelves for a couple days, and that's it, So, but he felt the need to vomit everything about himself that very first time during the first half hour, which I appreciate honesty. In fact, I like people who are honest and straightforward. And honesty is never overrated. It's just about non-existent. But this guy is just going on and on about, yeah, so I want you to know everything, and he doesn't know anything about me. And I'm thinking, like most people, unless I tell them that I've been in jail, I've been in prison, I've been in institutions, I have a long arrest history, I'm a former inmate, they wouldn't guess that about me. So he's telling me all of these things, and I want to be polite. So I was listening to him, and I was like, but truthfully, I told him, hey, I absolutely understand. I don't judge because, who am I to judge? Okay, me of all people. And I don't. And I told him, you know what? It's all right, because look at you. I mean, you've gotten your life together. That's a big deal in about 7 years to come out, because I know what it's like to be out, and you know you don't know what to do. So he was telling me all of these things, and he goes to meetings, which I've been to. So actually, in the same place that he goes to these meetings, but I haven't been going to meetings. And my addiction was not to a substance. My addiction was to something else, and it could be triggered now at any time. So I'm not putting myself in situations where it can be triggered. And that's really all about I have to say about it right now. So anyways, I was like, that's really cool that you've got your life together. I know how hard it is. I absolutely understand, and all of these things. So, fast forward to the second day, the second time at IKEA, and he's like, yeah, so I go to the gym. I've been working out ever since I got out of prison. I've been working out for about 7 years, and I'm built. And besides, in prison, I would work out too and everything. And I'm thinking, maybe you need to get a trainer. I didn't tell him these things because, I For the most part, I try not to alienate people. I mean, I'm trying to change. I'm trying, it's a journey, and I'm really on a journey. My life is a road, and I have days where it's so uphill, and I have days when it's a little smoother sailing, and then it goes uphill again. So I know the road is long, and it's all about you just keep learning. So, and he's all, yeah, trainers are overrated. Nobody needs a trainer. And I told him, well, I love my trainer, and I think that if you want specific results, and I'm thinking, hint, hint, you do need to get a trainer, because sometimes you go into the gym and you don't know it or realize it, but the workout that you're doing is not working for you. And so I told him that in general terms, like, you meaning, everybody, or some people, or just, general population. So yeah, I'm always working out, and look at me and everything. And I'm like, yeah, that's good for you. Um, Humility is a good thing. You know, um, yeah, it's a good thing to have. If you don't have it, it's a good thing to have. And if you do have it, it's a good thing you have it. So, um, so anyways, we come back with the shelves, and then he's like, you know what else? I should do some power spraying here on the outside. It would make it look a lot newer. And I'm like thinking, yeah, it does. I was telling you, this place needs a lot of things, but right now I think my priority is to, get these shelves up. So we get back, and then he's complaining about, oh yeah, you're working me. This stuff is so heavy. But he just said that he works out, and like, he's He-Man, and he's all these things. And then he's like complaining about taking these shelves out of the truck. Actually, on the way back from IKEA, I was like, do you have a cart to, because at IKEA there were carts, but we don't have a cart coming back to take them out of the truck and bring them in here. So he was like, no, I forgot to bring the cart, but I have one at home. Okay, so I'll go pick it up on the way back. I'm like, okay, all right. So we go to his house, which he talks about as if it's a castle. And when we got there, it was the opposite. It was a real dump, but it's a house, and I wasn't surprised in any way, you know. But still, I mean, every man's place is his castle. So, and obviously he works hard. I mean, but he had all these junk cars in the gate. So we pull in the gate, and I was like staying in the car, hoping he'll just go get the cart, and we'll be on our way. So he's all, yeah, so let me show you the place. And his mom lives there, and his brother lives there. So he was like, we go in, it's in Pacoima. Yeah, it's in Pacoima. So we go there, and so he has, his property is on a corner lot, which I love corner lots. I think corner homes, corner properties are the best. They're like the corner slice of cake. Corner slice of cake to me tastes better than the other slices. But it was a corner property to me, I think, is the most beautiful. Well, in this case, my opinion is different from his opinion. So, but he painted a mural on the outside of this property in Pacoima, his house, his home, and it's like prison art. He was proud of it, and that's all that matters. So he was showing that to me. Then he took me inside, and he showed me, all this stuff that he's done in the house. And he showed me a walk-in closet, which is literally a cave. You can't, it was painted black inside. It's just this space. It's like this cavernous space. And he's showing me all of these things, and that's fine, you know. And he just bought a non-Peloton. It's a Schwinn. But he says he uses it every day after he comes home from spin class. Like he does extra. And I'm like thinking, where are the results? But anyway, so, and again, I'm not being superficial. I'm just like, if somebody's gonna brag and brag and brag and use all this time to brag, I mean, come on, you know. So, um, you know, he was showing the. It's like it was like a maze inside. You know, for some reason, I'm not scared to be there. You know, I'm not worried. You know, I'm not sheltered. I've never been sheltered. You know, I've been on my own. I've always been on my own. I've always had to fend for myself. I've had one of the worst families. Dysfunction is an understatement. At any rate, so I mean, um, nothing really surprises me. I think it takes a lot more to scare me or worry me. Although on the other hand, I have a lot of anxiety. I actually have anxiety disorder. So, but for some reason, I wasn't worried being there. You know, he introduced me to his brother, and then um, his mom came home later. And oh God, he and his mom remind me of. For some reason, I was getting Norman Bates vibes, but still, I wasn't scared to be there. It's just I was thinking, oh my God, they're like some, uh, they're like religious fanatics, the way they talk about God, and you know, and I don't agree with it, but it's not because I don't agree. It was just like they were taking it to the nth degree, and it was just like it was starting to get weird. I was like, so yeah, so if you grab that cart and we're ready to go, and he's still showing me other things and other things and other things. He had a really nice midnight blue Corvette, you know, but the place is not a place that I would live. You know, everybody has their idea of where they want to be, what they like to wear, what they like to eat, where they want to live. That was not my idea of where I would want to live or even visit, you know, for any amount of time. So we finally got back here, and the cart doesn't work. And it's a tiny cart. What is this guy thinking? So he's complaining about lifting the shelves, the boxes out of the truck. And I'm like, you can do this. And I'm thinking to myself, please let him just get these shelves out, leave them here and go. And we don't have to talk anymore. They need to come back and do the shelves, what I'm supposed to pay him for, and get it done, right? And then I'll find another handyman or contractor to do the rest of the things, hopefully. So he brings the shelves in. He's like bitching the whole time. And then while he's bitching, on the other hand, he's like, oh, you know, we should do this and do that and all that. And he goes, by the way, I want you to know something. We're friends, so I'm just going to do this stuff for you. I was like, well, okay, you know, okay. So he's like, yeah, I've got a power spray or a power wash or whatever the outside, so it'll look new again, and part of the roof and all these other things. I'm like, okay, well that would be great, but you know, why don't we'll start with the shelves, because I'm trying to be realistic here, you know, and I really wanted him to leave because I'm just like, um, you know, battery life is done for this particular time and day, and I would like some me time. So, but you know, he's talking to me and everything, and I'm like, yeah, well, you know, great, okay, but one thing I told him is, you seem really nice, and you know, like you've really gotten yourself together, and all of these things, and you know, and so I hope this works out with the shelves. He's, oh yeah, I can do it. And there's all these other things that we need to do here. I'm like, okay, well, let's start with the shelves. That would be great, if we could do other things. But let's do that. And I was telling him that I want to go to the flea market. Actually, I wanted to go that following Sunday to find maybe a vintage piece of furniture, something small, to also put in the room where the shelves are going to go and everything's going to be white. I was thinking maybe I could find a nightstand or a small table or maybe even a chandelier, because the ones we saw at IKEA, they're cute, but they're not something that I was like absolutely set on. Some of them look too cheap. Some of them look like they just wouldn't cut it as far as brightness and all of those other things. So I was thinking, what could be better than maybe a really gorgeous, um, one of a kind piece at the flea market. And I love flea markets. So I was thinking maybe Sunday would be a good day. He's all, and we can go to the car show. And I'm like, and I started being funny because I'm a joker. Believe it or not, a lot of the times I'm such a joker. So I was like, well, should I do my eyebrows all cholo and everything? He's all, no. I'm like, okay. And I still haven't told him about myself because I don't think it bears any telling about myself. Again, we're going to do some shelves for a couple days, and yeah, maybe we'll do some power washing. That would be great if I could get that done. And then that's it. So, you know, that's it. So, he's all, yeah, and so I want to do all these things here and everything. Okay, so this was right before Christmas. And from a business standpoint, he had wanted me to go to this Christmas Day thing with him, like a family gathering. And he prefaced it with, this is a really good idea because I know you want to get your business up and going, and there's a lot of people there you can meet and everything. And I was thinking to myself, would it be a good idea? I mean, are there going to be people here I don't know, but I was like, no. And he was really pushing me to go to church with him. I think on a Saturday morning, which I'm not going to church. So I was like, well, I don't think so, but I'll let you know. No, you should go to church and everything, and you'll like it. And I'm like, don't. I was thinking to myself, don't tell me what I like and what I don't like, because I know what I like and don't like, and I don't want to get wrapped up in the idea of God, and that's something that I'll talk about later, So he left. He finally left, and the next night he called, and I'm like, yeah, so when are we going to do the shelves? I'm like, hey, how are you? What's going on and everything. And so he told me some of the stuff he's been doing. I'm like, yeah, so when are we going to get started on the shelves? He's all, well, I have a paying customer next week sometime. And mind you, we were going to be doing these shelves like a couple days ago. So, but okay, I didn't push at this point. I'm like, I was like, is he shading me with the paying customer thing? Because he's the one who wanted to do this, free of charge. I was going to pay him. That, to me, was the agreement, So, it's a service that I was going to pay him for. But anyway, so I was like, okay, no problem. And he's all, so, are we set for church on Saturday? And I said, no. I'm not going. I don't want to go, but thank you. Okay, so for Christmas Day, and I'm like, oh, I'll let you know. And so, I was like, okay, so, and then it was 2 days later that he called, and it went to my voicemail, and he calls and he's all, hey, it's me, so-and-so. So, yeah, I want to make sure we're going to the Christmas thing, Christmas morning. Hope you're okay. No, I'm not going with you, and But I didn't call him back. I didn't bother to call him back because at this point, two things are clear to me. One is he's not going to be doing any shelves for me ever. I just know these things, you know. So I was like, okay, he's not going to be doing any shelves for me. And no, I'm not going to any Christmas thing with him, you know. Nice invitation, thank you, but no. And I didn't call him back because it bears no calling back, right? So Christmas came and went, and I did a vlog on Christmas Day. And so there was another, oh yeah, the car show. So he calls a few days later about the car show the night before. Hey, it's so and so. Just want to make sure we're going to the car show together. Hope you're fine. I didn't go to the Christmas thing with him and I never called him back. And now he wants to make sure we're on for the car. Was he not clear on something somewhere along the line? So I didn't call him back. How do you even call somebody, not say hi or ask, hey, you know, it's me. How are you? Hope everything's fine. Hey, Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays, or how are you doing? You know. Anyways, see, so I was calling to confirm or something. You know, I mean, maybe even if you don't pick up on social cues, I mean, come on. You know, but anyways, that was out for me too, and I didn't call him back because now it was clear, but had it not been clear before, now it's set in stone. Like it goes without saying, this guy is not doing any shelves for me. I don't, what's wrong with people? I know there are things wrong with me. What's wrong with people though? I mean, do you not know that you've left me with 4 sets of shelves in the boxes that I've spent, you know, a significant amount of money on, and they're just like sitting there now? And obviously this handyman is out for me. Okay, so yeah, the power washing isn't getting done, the roof isn't getting done. I mean, okay, um addict behavior, addict behavior. I'm an addict. I'm so far from perfect. I'm so imperfect and flawed. Oh, I have so many faults, but I try to improve. And I don't just ghost people just like that. At least not without a reason, you know? And now I'm stuck. You know, I'm here's the thing though, I don't regret getting those shelves. In fact, I actually want more of them for the other room. But I have to find somebody who's competent enough to put them together. And we all know, no, you know, like IKEA directions leave something to be desired. I certainly don't have the patience to read those directions and put those shelves together. Although if I set my mind to it, I could. But you know, I need somebody to come put them together, bolt them to the wall, you know, um, build more around them because they're not going to fill the entire wall to make them look like built-ins and all that. And I'm thinking, okay, back to the drawing board, you know. So um yeah, so they're left undone. But here's the thing, I had something of his which I did not wish to keep. He had given me, you know, a laptop, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to keep this, but I don't want to be responsible for it. You know, I don't want to give it away to somebody because I don't consider it mine, even though he gave it to me. I don't consider it mine to give away, and it probably needs some updating and all of that. So maybe like, I don't know, maybe approximately 5 days later, I called him like, hi, how are you? You know, and what's going on? Merry Christmas. Look, I haven't heard from you in a few days, and I just want to let you know that I have that bag that you brought the laptop in, and some. He's working on these towels, like these certain towels for the gym. I was like, that he gave me and some other stuff. I'm like, I have these things, they're still in the bag. I haven't taken them out of the bag actually, and I put the laptop back in there with the charger and everything. And I would like you to come get them. I'm gonna put the bag outside right now, but I don't want to be responsible for it. I don't want anything to happen to. So if you want to come get it, yeah, I'll come get it. No mention of the shelves. I mean, let alone anything else, but the shelves, you were going to do some shelves for me. That's why I called you in the first place. Nothing. And I'm like, yeah, by the way, you left me with like over this dollar amount of shelves that I'm like kind of stuck with. And well, yeah, I've been trying to call you for the past few days. And I'm thinking, you tried to call me about a Christmas party and going out to a car show and no mention of shelves. And he's like, is he oblivious or is this intentional on his part? I'm like, so this stuff is undone here. And so, and at this point, I wouldn't want him to come do it. I had also decided that because what I'm thinking logically, I'm figuring to myself that even if he came and did it, would he really do a good job? And would those shelves be secure as they should be? I have to think of this in a more intelligent manner. Yeah, I'm upset with the outcome of this, that they're just sitting there, they never got done. And dude, why would you say all these things and not do it? I know handymen are notorious for being flakes, but come on, so he, and when I mentioned that, he said, oh, you know what, I've been so sick. And I said, okay, let's stop the addict behavior, okay? It's okay. I'm gonna put your bag out, just come get it, come get it so that, you get it. And I really don't want to be responsible for it. Thank you, bye-bye. And that was that. So that was one of my run-ins with, I don't know if it's ridiculous, absurdity. So, that's one of my experiences. Recently, I had another experience before him with another contractor, with a competent contractor. The issue with him is he got handsy. When somebody does something, I know a little bit about caulking, like, caulking cracks and stuff. So I was looking at something that he did outside. I'm like, if you put a little more caulking, and he's all, no, it doesn't need it. I'm like, I think it does. And I went up the ladder, and he's all, whoa, let me hold the ladder. I'm like, okay, good, thanks. So he's holding the ladder, and then he held my leg, and he got a little too handsy with that too, and it really upset me. That was so out of line and unprofessional. You're on this property and you're doing that. So yeah, that was out. And anyways, I've had some experience with a really bad one who, that guy was really bad. Anyway, so you live and you learn, right? Life is a journey. It's a road with twists and turns and a lot of uphills. And, but you take it as it comes. Here's my thing. I don't feel like I have options. I feel like when things come up, I have to deal with them. Be a soldier, take it like a man, and it is what it is. I'm not happy when things come up, but that's what it is. But really, I need a great kazoo. Oh my God, great kazoo, where are you? You beautiful green thing. Anyways, yeah, hope you guys had a great holiday. This is such a tiny channel, but I would love it if you subscribed and gave a thumbs up. And if you don't like it, thumbs down, that's fine. And Happy New Year, and I hope 2020, you know what? I hope this is the year for you guys, and I certainly hope it's the year for me, because I want to move upward and onward. And I want to do some really good things. And it means a lot to me to inspire you guys. It's all about perseverance. You have to persevere. You know, whatever you believe in, if you have a higher power, as they say, or whatever your train of belief is, the one thing that will always remain the same is that you have to persevere. You have to go on. And I know that if I can do it, you guys can do it. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Bye.